Hi guys, and welcome to the event recap for Brutally Honest and Anomalocaris at Battling the Burg 2026. So for changes, we'll start with Brutally Honest, which, for changes, I just put in a new receiver and printed longer forks, and that was it. Meanwhile, for Anomalocaris, I had to do a complete rebuild after the last competition, so to be honest, I completely rebuilt the robot, and well, that was it. So no changes there. Brutally honest would be up first against Stone, which was a Viper Kit Wedge bot. So my goal is to just run the forks, regular forks, and just get underneath them and hit them around and try to break something. So you'll see the fight now, I guess.
2, 1, fill the tape.
I got a really big hit here to start the fight.
Nice shot there, really honest.
I get another small hit, a throw in Stone over before grinding away. Yeah, they are upside down.
Those sparks are nice and white. That is titanium on the front of that robot.
Go for that exposed wheel.
Picking away at Stone.
I then get another good hit here, and Stone taps out. I was obviously victorious and suffered 0 damage, so after swapping out the battery, I was ready for my next fight against Impulse. Now, Impulse is a very scary undercutter driven by Lars, the same person who built Enigma, who absolutely destroyed Brutally Honest a couple competitions ago. So my strategy was to run the wedge and try to stay in the center of the arena.
In the red corner, we have Impulse. Impulse, are you ready? Alright, 3, 2, 1, buy box, fight!
Impulse manages to get a small hit on the side, then goes against my wedge, full hitting my wheel and ripping it off completely, leading to me tapping out. So, I obviously lost that fight. The reason I tapped out so quickly was because I did not want a repeat of the Enigma fight happening. No damage? Actually, very little damage was actually done. The tire simply got cut. And the hub and motors were completely fine, so all we had to do was swap out a tire and it was good. Anomalocaris would be up next in its first fight against Automo, an egg beater spinner. So my goal is to try to get around the corners of the wedge and hope to rip it off.
Are you ready? Alright, 3, 2, 1, buy box, fight!
Automo gets a small hit, and another. And then just ripped my weapon clean off. So I tapped out. For damage, the only damage actually was just my weapon got ripped off. So we think we put a new on washer. Also might have used the on screws, so replacing that, it was fine. Meanwhile, in those early engagements, I actually managed to rip off the top of this piece, and the driver of Automo gave it to me as a trophy. Brutally Honest would be up next against Sigma, a vertical spinner Viper kit. So my goal is to just run the forks and rip up their front wedge since it was simply made out of plastic.
We have Sigma. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, buy box, fight!
Oh no, it's the Batman. It's the Batman. Like, no, it's the Batman. Where's
The two robots do a little dance. I get a pin and a small hit. Sigma briefly gets underneath, and again and again. I get a couple of small hits. Sigma gets underneath, and I get a pin. I get another pin. I get a pin as I grind away at the bottom of Sigma.
Back and forth, back and forth. They're trying to overpower each other. Which robot is dominant? Is Sigma becoming alpha? We have to wait and see.
Right now it's just I'm driving around as the robots do a little dance again.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I get one last pin as it goes to the judge. Brutally honest, won that fight, and as such moved on to the next round and was completely undamaged. So all I had to do was swap out the batteries and the forks. But first, anomalocaris was up next against Attila, a unique, almost harvester-esque spinner. It had 4 vertical blades on a drum shaped thing. So my goal is to try to hit them. I don't remember my strategy, honestly.
In 3, 2, 1, Firefox fight.
Or lands a huge hit, and then that one is starting struggling with trouble, and now inverted with 6 is my drive. Attila lands another small hit, and then he rips off my weapon as it ricochets back in.
Up to you.
And my drive is bad again, I get thrown into. I get thrown into the air again, and after that last hit, I tap out. So with that, anomalocaris lost and was once again eliminated from the tournament at 0-2. So for damage, obviously my weapon got ripped off, but also my top panel screws started coming out, which was why I tapped out, because if my top panel comes out, then all my electronics come out as well, and that's bad. Brutally Honest is up next against Control Freak, a very wide hammer saw. So my goal was to, try not to get hit by the hammer saw. And for that, I ran my new long forks, which are about 1.5 times longer than my normal forks. So I was hoping I could outreach Control Freak and avoid the saw.
In the red corner, we have Control Freak. Control Freak, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, Firebox fight! That's a pin for Control Freak.
Control Freak gets a pin, which you can't see.
Nice.
Control Freak gets another pin, kind of, but doesn't go in the arm since my spinners anyway. I managed to get around to the back briefly, but then I'm able to capitalize. Get a small hit there as Control Freak pushes me around and wheelies, allowing me to get briefly underneath. Control Freak carries me around some and, pins me, but does not bring down the saw once again. I actually managed to get underneath there, and again here, but Control Freak, well, almost pins me. Now Control Freak pins me. I managed to pin Control Freak as they bring me saw down, getting a couple of hits on my top, but I didn't cut through since I'm still moving and fully functional. Control Freak gets a pin, but my fork's kind of getting me right. I flip over, but self-rate off of Control Freak, who spins up again and brings down their weapon, but doesn't really do much. Control Freak gets another pin and gets a good hit on my top panel, which I respond with a good hit of my own as the fight goes to judge. It went to the judges, and in a relatively close decision, they gave it to Control Freak, which, looking back, I do feel was the right decision. Now for damage, actually the damage was rather minimal, with only a few small scratches on my top plates, and that was actually it. So I stood up really well. But with that, Brutally Honest was eliminated from the tournament as well. And, well, that was it for this event. For changes to next time, to be honest, I do think Brutally Honest is probably gonna stay the same. We're gonna print out more heavy longer forks since we only printed out one pair. Meanwhile, for anomalocaris, we're gonna rotate some screws, replace some of the other wheels, probably cover them in the thingy. I forgot what it's called. The thing I used on the old Blueberry to get the wheels to stick, and also figure out what's wrong with the weapon. I'm pretty sure we just used the wrong screws. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Credit to my dad for filming and helping build robots. Credit to Bloomsburg Fair for hosting the event, and goodbye.